It all happened nearly 10 years ago, but the memory still lingers in my heart like it was just yesterday. Back then, I lived in a city, a bustling, noisy place where the summers were unbearably hot. The towering buildings blocked the breeze, and the concrete roads absorbed the sun's scorching heat. I longed for a change, for fresh air, for something different. I wanted to escape the oppressive heat and find solace in the countryside, where I could walk among the trees, breathe in the scent of the earth, and listen to the sweet melodies of the birds. I owned a little red car, my trusted companion for adventures, and I had a map to guide me. That evening, I made up my mind. Without hesitation, I packed a few essentials, got into my car, and drove through the night. The journey itself filled me with excitement. The road stretched endlessly ahead of me, and the cool night air rushed in through the open windows, refreshing me as I left the city behind. That summer had been a particularly good one, long days of golden sunshine, clear blue skies, and warm breezes. As the first light of dawn painted the sky, I found myself deep in the countryside. The scenery was breathtaking. Rolling green hills, tall trees standing proudly against the horizon, and a vast sky overhead, unmarred by the smoke and grime of the city. Birds chirped merrily from the treetops, and the soft rustling of leaves in the wind made everything feel so peaceful. I sighed, feeling completely at ease. But that blissful moment didn't last. Without warning, my car sputtered and came to a sudden halt. Panic surged through me as I tried to restart the engine, but it was no use. Something was wrong. I glanced at the fuel gauge and groaned. I had run out of petrol. Frustration welled up inside me. How could I have been so careless? Now, I had no choice but to leave my car behind and search for help. I pulled out my map, scanning it for the nearest town. To my dismay, there was no sign of civilization nearby. The realization hit me hard. I was completely lost in the middle of nowhere. Then, just as I was about to despair, I saw her. She appeared on the road, walking gracefully with a bouquet of wildflowers in her hands. Her dress was long, flowing, and simple, moving gently with the breeze. Her hair, long, black, and shining in the sunlight, cascaded down her back like silk. She was beautiful, almost ethereal, and for a moment, I forgot my predicament. I felt an inexplicable pull toward her. Gathering my courage, I stepped out of the car and approached her. "Hello," I said, trying not to startle her. "I think I'm lost. Can you tell me where I am?" She hesitated, her blue eyes widening slightly in uncertainty. I could see the apprehension in her face, so I softened my voice. "I ran out of petrol," I explained. "I need to find a place where I can get some. Can you help me?" She studied me for a moment before offering a gentle smile. "I do not know where you can find petrol," she said, her voice soft and melodic. "But you can come with me to the village. Perhaps someone there can help." Grateful for any assistance, I nodded and followed her. We walked for quite some time, and as we went deeper into the countryside, a strange feeling settled over me. I glanced at my map again, puzzled. According to it, there should have been no village in this area. Maybe it's too small to be on the map, I reasoned, trying to dismiss the nagging feeling in my chest. And then, we arrived. The village was unlike any I had ever seen. It was small and picturesque, with black and white timbered houses that looked ancient yet well kept. The air was filled with the sounds of animals, horses neighing, chickens clucking, and sheep bleating in the distance. It was charming, almost like something out of a storybook. The girl led me to a modest house and smiled. "Come inside," she invited warmly. I stepped in, and immediately, a sense of nostalgia washed over me. The house was cozy and impeccably clean, yet something about it felt old-fashioned. A fire crackled on the hearth, and a pot of food hung above it, sending delicious aromas into the air. My stomach rumbled, reminding me that I hadn't eaten in hours. But still, something felt strange. They cook over a wood fire. I mused. Perhaps they don't have modern appliances here. Maybe they're just a simple, old-fashioned community. I met her parents, a kind and welcoming couple, though their clothing struck me as peculiar, like something from another time. The old man gestured for me to sit. "Are you thirsty after your walk?" he asked, offering me a drink. I accepted it, but as I took a sip, I was taken aback. The taste was unlike anything I had ever tried, dark, rich, and oddly strong. My confusion grew, but I pushed it aside. The people were friendly, the village was peaceful, and most importantly, I felt happy there. I asked the old man about petrol, but he only furrowed his brows in confusion. "Petrol?" he repeated. "What is that?" His response startled me. How do they not know what petrol is? I wondered. Do they not use cars? I decided to ask, "Do you travel by foot, then?" The old man chuckled. "Oh no, we use horses." Horses. My mind reeled. Why don't they have cars? But I didn't question it aloud. Instead, I let myself enjoy their company, their hospitality, and most of all, Mary, the girl who had led me there. That evening, Mary and I stepped outside into the cool night air. The stars twinkled brightly above us, unpolluted by city lights. We talked for hours, and with each passing moment, my feelings for her deepened. She was kind, intelligent, and incredibly beautiful. I wanted to stay with her, to learn more about her world. But then, her expression changed. She looked away, sadness clouding her face. "You have to leave," she said softly. I frowned. "Why?" "It's not safe for you to stay. You must leave before morning." I felt a pang in my chest. "But I love you, Mary. And I will come back for you." Tears welled in her eyes. "You must not. It is too dangerous." I refused to accept it. "I'll go to the next town, get petrol, and return." "You can't stop me." She didn't reply. Instead, she only whispered a final, heartbreaking goodbye. I left that night, heart heavy with sorrow. By morning, I reached a town and refueled my car. Then I asked about the village. The man at the petrol station gave me a puzzled look. That village. It was destroyed in a fire. 350 years ago. Shock coursed through me. That's impossible. I was just there. I spoke to the people. His expression turned grave. There's a legend. Once every 10 years, for a single day, the village returns. But if you stay past sunrise, you will be trapped there forever. My heart pounded. Mary knew, I realized. She was protecting me. I rushed back, desperate to find her. But the village was gone. All that remained were trees, flowers, and the whispering wind. Now, after 10 long years, the day is near. The village will return, and this time, I will not leave before morning. I will find Mary again. And I will stay with her, forever.